There we go. All right. Hello, friends. Let's go back to. All right. It's working now. Let me just tap into productivity.
Be able to integrate one scene in multiple metaverses.
That's awesome.
Hello, friends.
Hey, AJ.
Mhm.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm happy to
Hey,
be
Madamus.
here. Matty Moose.
Hey, Madness.
Hey, I just unmuted. I missed if anyone said hi.
Oh, guys, I forgot. There's a Twitter space right now.
Yeah.
Somebody's interviewing Toon Punk. We might want to raid that.
I'm playing a claw game right now, Decentraland claw game.
Oh, cool. Oh my gosh.
I'd be interested to know what the Decentraland Foundation thinks about the SEC considering mana as a security.
I know.
Oof.
I wonder if that's why we've had radio silence from the Decentraland team for the past few weeks. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they I don't know, they have not been showing up to our Twitter space. They canceled Wearable Wednesday. One day they were like, yeah, we're just not going to do it. But then the next week there was no announcement. They just didn't do it. Like,
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
yeah.
there are certain
Like,
people in Foundation who have, been doing their things. Like Fifi has been organizing the Testing Tuesdays. I was just reached out to by the Explorer team. Trying to remember her name. Uh, Here it is. Roshu?
oh, Roshu. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've talked with them
Romy.
before.
Romy, I think is her name. Anyway, I need to get back to her about talking to her today. So there are certain people in Foundation who I have heard from, but you're right in terms of like media presence, like Kim and
Yeah.
official PB. I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like something has happened, and I don't. Something has happened. Either somebody's just like their life's fallen apart and they're on vacation, whatever. But like, or somebody got fired, or there's internal strife. But I don't know. There's something.
I don't know about that.
It's different.
Radio silence can mean a lot of things, and that's like I think a popular thing is like say nothing, right, until you can develop a standpoint. So yeah, it could be any number of things. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Um, Today's FAFO session is uh, all about this PC build. So I've got the information up on let's see where if I can, yeah, there we go. Yeep, there. Here I can point to it this way. Um, here's all the information. So it's a Lenovo ThinkStation. There we go. And it's a P520, I think, is the model of it. So it's a refurbished. It's a used system. Um, it's got an Intel Xeon. I think it's the Cascade Lake edition. They have the special names for them. Um, so the thing to know about this one is that it's a workstation processor. It's not just like your Ryzen 7 or your i7 7 series or whatever. It's a beefier processor, and it's got 6 channels and 12 threads. It can do four. I'm not super technical in these areas. I did a lot of research, but it's got 4 separate channels for the RAM. So like if you've got 4 different RAM sticks, each one has a dedicated channel to the processor. At least that's how I understand it. So if you only get like 1 stick of RAM in there, it's not going to be able to take advantage of that. So what I did was um, I got a four stick kit, and this is 8-tech memory. So each stick is 32 gigabytes, and it's ECC, which here, let me get that really close. I don't know if that can focus on it. Right down here where my thumb is, ECC. It just stands for error correcting. So it's like special memory. If you're going to be doing imaging for heart surgery, or you're going to be designing a bridge or some shit like that, you're doing critical computations for, like, say, cosmology or astronomy or whatever, you need to make sure that your data is correct. And I'm sure that there are people with bigger brains than I could explain that, but that's the benefit of having a beefier system. So the really thing that I'm excited, the really big thing that I'm excited about is that this tower was $150, like $165 after it got shipped and taxed and stuff like that. But with that, here I'm gonna start taking it apart. So here's the graphics card, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And that was if you've ever considered like buying a new graphics card, it's a good time to start looking at buying a new graphics card, because both AMD and NVIDIA, the two main producers of graphics cards, have dropped their prices. So this one here, I know I said I was gonna do this other thing, but this one right here, oh fuck, what did I pay for it? I gotta check my prices.
Oh my god.
I've got it written down somewhere. It was like $280, but it's 10 gigabytes of DDR. What the hell? Which one is it? DDR6 memory. Yeah, that one's right there. So 10 gigabytes of DDR6 memory. $279 for this guy, which is like, that's like a $350 card right there. So $150 for this. And what I got with that, like if I was gonna buy a new case, like a full-size tower case, like a full-size ATX, it would be, I could spend, I mean, there are some that are like, 25, 35 bucks, but they're really, really cheap. But something like this big with a 900-watt power supply, and the cooler, right, and the processor. Like, it's not a new processor, it's used, but this was $150 bucks. Here, let me show that to you. You see that? Let me get a better shot of that. So here's the cooler, right? There's a fan here. There's a fan down here, and there's 8 slots for memory. So I got those 4 sticks of RAM. It can take up to 512 gigabytes of RAM, but oh it's okay. But like, to get 4 sticks of 64 gigabytes was like too expensive. So this RAM right here, total, this was $160 bucks, right? It's DDR4 RAM though. So if there are those of you that know what that means, it's a couple generations older. It's not the most new RAM that's out there, but that's okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do, my first step in my little script here, is to just clean the box. Now this is like straight out of, I just unboxed it, and it looks pretty goddamn clean already. The other thing I like about this is it's all modular, whatever. That also makes it proprietary. So like, this is the power supply. Here, let me hold it upright, and it's an 80+ platinum rating, and it's a 900-watt power supply. So yeah, to get the power supply, the case, the cooler, the processor, all that for $150 bucks, I think it's a really good deal. So anyway, I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna set this aside. I've got my little duster, and I'm just gonna clean it out. Oh, that's right. I wanted to take the cooler off. That's why I have my screwdriver here. So, I may need to get a different screwdriver. Yeah, hold on a second. I don't know. While I'm doing this, are there any questions?
So the motherboard came with the case? It was like a combined thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, motherboard, processor, cooler, power supply. There's also there's 2 slots for NVMe. So here's the heat sink for the NVMe, the M.2 storage systems. Here, if you can get a better look at it like that. And that actually, I'll show you where that goes in a little bit. But again, you know, pretty freaking clean. Like, they either took the time to clean this thing out, or this just really hasn't seen much work, because usually there's like, you know, just like bits of dust hanging in there. So like if I take my duster and just, there's nothing that comes out of that. It's just super clean already. So this may be totally procedural. Like, I don't have to worry about this too much. But yeah, I just got a standard screwdriver here. And it's, you know, a pretty typical mount for your Intel coolers. I think that's, yeah, okay, that one's done. You know, I did some research into, like, should I get one of those liquid coolers, and the consensus, there we go. The consensus that I got was like, you know, you can just get by with an air-cooled system, provided that you've got enough space for airflow. The liquid-cooled, you know, it looks and seems conceptually like really cool, really fancy, but like, if one thing goes wrong, like with your pump or whatever, then you're pretty much SOL. If anything goes wrong with this, all I gotta do is get a new fan, and then I'm back in business. I don't have to get a whole brand new cooler. So, I don't know. I'm sure there are people that have different philosophies, different ideas, but it's like, I'm a practical kind of guy. And if I can make it work with a simple fan that can be replaced, rather than a liquid cool, then that's the way that I'm gonna go. So, what I really need is a smaller head Phillips head screwdriver, smaller size Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so let's unplug this. Notice that I didn't just yank the cable. I went back, I went down, and I grabbed by the plastic head, because there's not much holding that in there. It's a little thing, but it's an important step. So yeah, look at this, guys. Like, there's a little ding right here, if you can even see that. But there's no dust in this. Holy shit. Yeah, there's nothing to clean out. I mean, the paste, I gotta clean that off. So this is where this big block of aluminum, and these fins right here, where you got the copper tubing that comes up through the sides. This is what attaches to the processor, right? And all the electricity that runs through there, through the tiny little 1 nanometer wide switches, so it makes it hot. And you can see the copper tubing that goes down through there. So I'm going to clean this off right here. I've got some wipes for that. Here's my Noctua thermal paste wipe, and here's my Noctua thermal paste. Okay, so if I didn't have already this included cooler, I would probably buy a Noctua air cooled unit. That's what I guess is considered a pretty good price per value industry standard. So I'm going to set this down right there. I'm going to open up the wipes. Here, you get a better look at the processor. Here it is, right here. So that's the Xeon. And I wanted to get something that was a little future-proof. So at some point, I want to get the top of the line processor that was designed for this ThinkStation P520. Here, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let me turn up. There we go. That's a little better. It's instead of a W2135, it's a 2195. I think I could even get a 2295, but that one is like, that's still used. It's still like a couple $1,000. But a 2195, it has 16 cores, 32 threads. So more than like, what was this? This was six cores. Yeah, so more than double the cores and threads. To drop that in there, it's currently like $300 right now. So I'm gonna wait until that price drops to about $150. So I'm also gonna wait until I make a little extra money and get enough to buy that second kit of 128 gigabytes of ECC RAM, that DDR4 ECC RAM. So yeah, this is just I don't think there's anything special about this. It's just like a little alcohol wipe. So yeah, I'm just gonna clean this off really well. Some on the corner here. And now I'm going to do this guy right here. There we go. I'm going to hold it by the block here and just use this to wipe it off. So the thermal paste, it just makes a connection, a conductance connection. Like even if I were to set this down, even if it were like perfectly flat, there would still be, I don't know, little bits of dust or whatever. And in between this and the CPU, and you just want a good consistent connection between this and the CPU. So out with the old, in with the new, and it just takes, just a few little dots. Actually, I'm not going to put it on here. I'm going to put it on the CPU and then place this back down on top of it. And this probably was fine, but this stuff does eventually dry out. And when that happens, you don't have a full connection between your cooler and your processor. So you'll want to clean it off and put new thermal paste on. Okay, so we'll let that dry, and we'll dry this. Okay. Now, if I come over here and look at my CPU, yeah, it says Intel Xeon W-2135 SR3LN 3.7 gigahertz. And then there's like a whole bunch of other numbers and letters and stuff like that. But yeah, 3.7 gigahertz. I think it like can go up to 4.25. Like if you want to overclock it, I'm not interested in overclocking it. But people do that. This fan is a little bit not too bad. I'd really like to just be able to take off this front bit and put a screen in front of it or something. Just let more air flow into here. Okay, well, how about we clean the power unit? Because that's down by the floor. That's bound to get dirty. I mean, it's a little dusty on the top. Handle. So yeah, if this were a brand new system, you wouldn't have to worry about cleaning all this. I mean, you'd have to take all the plastic off, so there's definitely time that you'd spend doing that. So it's not like it's not going to take any time. So if it's an investment of time that you're worried about, this really isn't going to take much time. And if I were just going to do this, it would take even less time because I wouldn't be explaining it to everybody. But the whole reason I'm going through this exercise is because the system that I have right now, it's an HP Desk Pro, and it's going on 7 years old now. Okay, there we go. And I don't know if I could bring the microphone down and you could hear it. It's just like the drive is always grinding away on it, and Discord will just crap out on me for no reason. It's showing its age, I guess. It's not error correcting memory. It's whatever. There's a whole bunch of things. And it crapped out on me last night, right in the middle of ABC. So I'm just like, oh, it's a good thing I have a new system that I'm building. And I can't remember. Oh, I do remember the last time. The last time I bought a brand new desktop was like 2013, 2015. I think it was 2013, and I bought it with Bitcoin. I bought it with the money that I had made on Bitcoin, because Newegg, I think at the time, just started accepting Bitcoin, so that was exciting. But yeah, every other system that I've ever had has been a used system. Okay, so clean the box, detach the air cooler, did that. Get rid of the dust. Okay, apply the thermal paste. So here's the thermal paste. And just need take off the cap right there. Just unscrewed that, right? Also, quick shout out to my dog, Skylar. Everybody say hi, Skylar. I'll see if I can focus in on her. Hey, puppy. Hi.
Yes, Kelly.
So Skylar and I we went on a run this morning, so she is tired.
He's like, I got good exercise in. I'm chilling.
She is so happy right now.
Yeah, no, he's chilling.
Yeah. I mean, she'd be running back and forth during this whole thing if we didn't have that run this morning. She got to go to a park. There were squirrels. There were oak trees all over the place. I let her off. Well, I actually the leash was still on her, but I let her like run around with the leash kind of hanging from behind her, and oh, she had so much fun. Okay, so it's a pretty small surface area, so I'm really only going to do a few little dots on the surface, and then I'm just going to take the cooler, right, and then just set it right down, maybe like move it around just a tiny bit, and then I'm going to start screwing these back in. So yeah, here we go. Take the cap off. I'm old, so I have to just take my glasses off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I did it just like on a die. Like if you're gonna roll a die and there's like 5 little dots in there, I'll show you what that looks like. Just like that. Can you see it? Yeah, you can kind of see it. Here, if I move this back, there. So the processor is amidst all that metal rigging right there. So let's take this. What's really nice about this guy is that there's a stamp right there that tells you the flow of the air, right? And also I remember that the cable is it plugs in, up on this top side. So I remember that this is the orientation that it has to go in there. I could screw this in any number of ways, but it needs to go in the right way. So, all right, here we go. I wish I had a better camera for you guys to see what's going on here. I don't think that's going to be enough. You can always add more. It's like it's harder to add less though. Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to work in construction, and holy shit. If you want to get the foreman to yell at your ass, don't measure something and like waste material and cut something. So, I could have just put a whole fuckload of thermal paste on it from the very start. Okay, I'm just kind of moving it around just a little bit. Yeah, oh, that's so much better. Okay, that's some good coverage there. Whee! Okay, now I get my screwdriver and line it up. Here, I did think enough to have this second camera that I can just kind of move in here. So, if you look up at the top right hand corner, you can see sort of the oh fuck, I don't know if that's even in focus. Sorry guys, I'm old and my eyes don't work so well. So you can see here, this is one of the mount points. This is another one. So I'm just lining this screw up with the mounting point right there, and then there's 2 on the other side. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just so as you know. Okay. True story. When I used to work for a VAR, a value-added reseller, we would sell workstations like this, like Intergraph. Intergraph was the big system that we sold. Before that, we sold Silicon Graphics systems, and wow, those were fucking expensive. But the Intergraph systems, it was one of the first workstations that ran Softimage, which is a 3D modeling and animation package, on Windows. So Windows bought Softimage back in 1995. So this is how long ago I was working as a demo jockey and a technician and whatever. But these Intergraph systems would have really big motherboards, and you could put. It was so long ago that memory sticks were measured in megabytes and not gigabytes, and you would buy these little riser things that would fit in a memory slot that you could mount like 3 or 4 sticks of RAM this way. So whatever, crazy shit. But when I worked there, we would have a little wristband thing that would go around, and it would attach to the to the metal of the case, so that I'd be grounded whenever I did stuff. And my boss was super anal about that, because you don't want to pick up a stick of RAM and touch the copper terminals and then have static electricity discharge and then totally fry your stick of RAM. But I'm not doing that today. I'm confident in my ability not to fry my RAM. Okay. Ooh, that was a close one. Okay. Bueno. All right, I'm gonna take this and turn it. Oh, which way? This way. Okay, yeah. Turn it back this way. Prop it up so you guys can see what's going on. Okay. Now, this thing is like it's a tool. It's a toolless setup. So everything comes apart and goes back together again without needing a screwdriver, with the exception of the cooler here. I mean, that's an Intel thing. That's a processor thing, but it's actually quite nice. It's made out of plastic, whatever. That reduces the cost of this. But here's my drive bay mount. So I'm gonna take this out, and if I had an actual HDD, a hard disk drive, I'll get one of those. I'm a super nature nerd. I name all of my drives. This one's called Pinecone. This is, I think, yeah, whatever. It's 80 gigabytes. It's an Apple from Seagate, and this is just from an old system that I just have laying around. but you know, I could. Let's see. Yeah, I think it goes out like this. I could just snap this in here, and then slide it back in there and attach it. Now, this is how old it is. It doesn't even have a SATA connection. It's got the old IDE connection. Those are the really fat, wide gray ribbons that plug in this way, and this is the Molex, the PEX power connector. So yeah, so you know, it's got some backwards compatibility, so you can attach a big old honking drive like this in there, which I still may get. I still may get like you know, an HDD, a mechanical drive that has a lot of extra storage, and you know, have that be where I put my you know, like my video storage, because like right now I'm streaming this, but I'm also recording it locally. So I want to edit this down to like a 30-minute video. So to have that take up all of the space on my SSD, this is a 2 terabyte SSD. It's from Samsung, and this is so tiny. So that drive over there, that was 80 gigabytes, and that's probably, how old is that? It's probably 15 years old. And this one I just bought, right? So this is brand spanking new. This is 2 terabytes. Just look at the size difference. You know, normally I have my pocket knife on me, but I didn't bring that with me. But here, as I unbox this, you can see there's like a little plastic here. There's a little booklet. The booklet's almost bigger than the actual drive itself. Well, in one dimension it is. But this is my drive. This is my 2 terabyte drive, right? Super tiny. So I'm going to mount this to this, right? And then just slide that in there. If you notice, there's one bay down here. There's another bay up here. I think this slides out. Maybe it like pulls. I didn't take the whole thing apart before today, but there's like a little lever here, and this comes out some way. I don't remember, but I can put more drives in here, and there are some systems where there's another one of these, you know, pressed metal that goes right here. So you could put 1, 2, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could put like 8 drives in here. Now you're gonna need to have your SATA connectors down here. So let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's 7. So you could do 7 drives. But wait, there's more. So like this is my SSD, stands for solid state drive. Actually, it says it right on there. If you can read that. Solid state drive, SSD. HDD stands for hard disk drive. So that's one type of storage. And then this is the other one. This is an M.2 NVMe. Now, I don't know what NVMe stands for. There's probably smarter people in the audience that knows what that means. But those NVMe sticks go underneath this thing. They can get really, really hot. So that's why there's this heat sink. So that bit of show and tell is over. I'm gonna drop it back down. I'll probably bring the little camera back over so you can get a closer look of what I'm doing. Let's bring this over here. This is my really fancy, I don't know if you can see this. It's a lamp. I got rid of my old tripod. It was one of the legs was cracked. So otherwise, I'd have that here, so you could see what's going on. Hopefully, this is gonna work. I just kind of jerry-rigged this together. It's like an old Logitech. Frickin' A. It is not working very well. There. Of course, it's not looking in the right direction. So yeah, it's an old Logitech webcam that I'm using here. Oh, for fuck's sake. There. Oh, yeah, okay. So there's our bird's eye view. I'll try to make sure to be conscious of not getting in the way. Well, let's see, maybe I can take this camera, bring this in a little closer. Here we go. There's Skylar's bed over there. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to install are these guys, the NVMe storage. Like, is it even called a drive? It seems like a retronym. It seems like, that's a really old term for something. It's like, it's where you store data, but it's not actually driven. It's static, right? There's nothing that this is like a RAM stick. This is not whatever. It's like you don't dial a phone number anymore. Like nobody says dial except if you're old like me. But phones used to actually have dials on them. You dial around the number. Okay, so back here you can see these two little screws. Those screws fit in that little notch right there. Okay, there we go. So that screw fits over that notch, and these copper terminals plug in right there. And you can see there's a notch on one side, okay? And maybe you can see right there, there's a little part that's sticking out. That's a little plastic nub or tab, and the notch fits in over the top of that. Now, I need to get this. These are like my glasses screwdrivers. So I'm gonna get out looks like it's Phillips head. It seems like both will work, but whatever. You get a better purchase with a Phillips screwdriver. So just for right now, I am going to unplug one. Come on now. Just stay out of the way. One and two. I'm just going to unplug these to get these out of my way. Okay. Okay. Ooh, if I were really smart, I could take this whole damn thing out of the way. Let's do that. Okay. Come on. Oi. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, 3 plugs. I did them in order from one side to the next. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's how they get plugged back in. All right, here we go. Now I can get to these screws a little better. Let's try to do autofocus again. just at the distance where I'm gonna need to keep my glasses on. Oh, what the hell? So righty tighty, lefty loosey. This just does not want to come undone. Oh! Hear that little click? I think that little click is it's coming undone. Oh fuck! Let me try this one. I get a little more leverage. I may have to run and get. Yeah, see if I can actually get my fingers around it and turn, then I can turn it. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to set that right there. Oh, jeez. Louise. It's like, why are you spending all this time taking these off? Well, I don't want to strip the head. I want to be nice and careful. So there we go. They're in order of how I took them apart. So this is the first one that I took off. It's from right here. And here's the second one. Why am I being so methodical about this? Well, has anybody read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance? Anybody? No?
Never.
Never?
Once.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, JH. I think a lot of people read like the first part of it, but they don't read it all the way to the end. I actually met the guy who he's like featured in the book. He didn't write the book, but he was like living with the God, I can't remember the author's name. Who wrote Zen the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. But there's a really nifty thing in that book in that he talks about how to perform maintenance on a motorcycle, as you would think, by the title. But I was really fascinated by it. He's like, fuck, that's just not going to stay there, is it? Come on.
Makes sense.
What's that?
From what I've heard, motorcycle maintenance is like a nonstop, constant, all the time type of thing. So like,
Oh yeah,
if you
absolutely.
could like meditate your way through it, you'd probably be in good shape.
Definitely meditation. Like you need to have a sort of Zen state, but there's also you need to be somewhat methodical about it. And he's like, whatever, how many thousands of parts there are to a car, and there's fewer, but still thousands of parts to a motorcycle. And what he would do, as he explains in the book, is he would take he would sketch out where every piece was, and he would take out a screw, and he would like spend time with each screw that he'd take out, and then he'd like set it down in a very specific place. I just be very methodical about it, but being very one with the parts of the motorcycle. So, I've never taken apart this computer before. I've taken apart computers before, so I think it's a little helpful to have a little bit of caution, not necessarily reverence, but just respect. Okay. So here is. Let me turn that light off. There's a little too much glare. Here is my 256 gigabyte stick of M.2. Okay, so it's called an SSD, solid state drive. It's my storage though. Now, the reason why I got two 256 gigabyte sticks of these M.2s is I got something in the mail. I got what do you call it? A preloaded what am I trying to say? Debit card. God. Woo. That they each had $20 on. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can get an M.2 SSD, like a half a gigabyte for $40, because that's about the cost that they're coming in at. But I couldn't double up those cards. I could only spend. I went onto Amazon, and whatever, you can only choose one form of payment. So I found these were $17 and something cents. They were like $19.50 after tax and shipping and everything. So these were free. Both of these. I was just like, score.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just so happy when. So yeah, it's like, I did include in the. Did I include? I have to go back. I can't find my prices. I wrote it out somewhere. I'll do that with the final edit. But like the $40 for these M.2s, I don't think I included in the price. They're not essential to the build, but I mean, fuck, I've got a slot for them, and they were free, so you know, why not? Okay. There's also a notch right in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. If it focuses on that, yeah, you can see the notch there. So I'm just going to slide that in over this. Wow. Okay. That just doesn't want to sit in there. Yeah, so I can put that in there like that. It's definitely on there. It's holding it. Can I get it in there any farther though? No. I don't think I can. I'm being very careful in holding this on the edges, the silicon edges. I'm not touching the copper terminals, just so as you know. But I want to be able to get that screw right there into that hole. This other little peg here just kind of sits back in there. However, when I slide this in here, maybe, yep, there we go. Okay, so here, click, like that. And then when I bring that down, it just does not line up. It's just like a millimeter too far that way. Come on. Come on, Lenovo. Get your shit together.
No, my iPad died.
Oh no. Yeah, it's like I'm tilting the screw sideways, trying to get to go in there, and it's just not having it. I did not expect to have this be where I get caught up. Okay, what I'm trying to do now is just pull this screw out of here, which doesn't appear to be working. Shit. I mean, I may just go downstairs and get a screw. And there's also this, right? There's like this is tacky, sticky, or whatever. I may just, forego that screw and have that with tension, mount that on there. It may come and bite me in the ass, but
Like relying on the adhesive.
yeah, just so there's a little bit of sticky adhesive here and here, and it's going to be sandwiched between the two. And I'm not gonna. This isn't gonna go on a boat with me or anything. It's not gonna be moving around and stuff like that. So I think it'll be okay. So I'm gonna get that other.
I mean, it's gonna get hot, right? So
it is gonna get hot. It's gonna get really fucking hot. Because I think when I do the install, I'll do like an install of Windows on this one, and I'll do an install of Linux on the other. Like that's where my OS is gonna live. And I don't care if I lose my install because all my other stuff is gonna be on my my SSD, my Samsung, and I'll probably put some other older HDDs in the top bay later. So yeah, I've installed and reinstalled operating systems numerous times. I don't really have any super critical files. I'm not worried about it if these crap out. Okay, so here is the heatsink. So right now I've got 512 gigabytes of storage. It's like plugged right into the motherboard. How fast is that going to be? Wicked fast, Ma. I'll be wicked fast.
I heard that at Intel, where like the facilities that they like develop their microchips, like they're all like super like sterile. Like, and if like somebody walks in without going through like the sterilization process or whatever, they like destroy the whole batch that's like going on in that particular warehouse. But there's like stages of warehouses that they get moved through to like eliminate that possibility.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, your reputation is only as good as your last catastrophe, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about so this particular processor is, I think it's the architecture is 14 nanometers. Like, so there's, I don't know, I forget how many layers, but they're like sandwiched one after the other. And whatever. It's like super fine detail. It's measured in nanometers. Like, you have electrons that are subatomic or whatever, and those are going past super thin areas. And if you get like 1 grain of dust in there, the grain of dust is like a freaking meteor to a city, in terms of like comparative size. So yeah, you don't want any dust in there. Okay. So there's one storage bit right there. Now that I have that in,
The number of nanometers that are in a single millimeter isn't even a number. It's a it's like an algebra equation. 1e plus 6. That's how many nanometers are in 1 millimeter.
Is it done exponentially? Is it like whatever times 10 to the 20th or something like that?
I'm not even sure. This is just like on a quick search because I was curious, but I didn't even know what this means.
Okay.
Divide the length value by 1e plus 6. That's the formula.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but it's like if it were
there must be a lot of nanometers in 1 millimeter.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so if you remember how this goes back together, I'm doing it in reverse order. So this was the last one, right here, and I think is this just parked here? I think this is just parked here. Yeah. So this is actually a nice little. I'm gonna turn on the light for this. If you see these guys right. Oh fuck! No, I can't see that. Hold on. You see these guys right here that were plugged in that I was so careful about? This is the cable for the fan. This tiny little guy right here that I just plugged in. That's the last thing I unplugged, first thing I plugged in. So it's just sort of hanging out here. Oh, that's dusty. Ooh, let's clean that off. Okay. It was just hanging out here. So this is my 6 plus 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's another one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then here's my 7, 8, my plus 2. So if I need it to be, an 8-pin power connector for my graphics card, there it is. And it plugs in right here into the motherboard. Okay. I'll turn the light off again so we can see a little better. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the order that these get plugged in. Holy shit. Okay. Still still, I'm an advocate for being meticulous with things like this. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? Okay. I know I'm going to need at least one of these, right? I'm going to put these back in here. It's kind of nice to have just a little storage thing here for that. Okay. Keep my cables out of the way. I also have, oh look, there's a little cable wrangler here too. So which way does this go to boost this? Ah, like that, okay. So here that's the power for, there's two of them. So if I had two drives, I plug one here and then one here, just like that with this power cable. So we're going to use this. We're going to do the SSD next. Okay? And then this is our SATA. Alright, so this is our data. You can see that a little better. Focus. Where's my focus button? There it is, right there. Okay. Yeah, try that again. Okay. Yep. So this is my data right here. And here's our power. So we go like that. Okay? And this is how you wrangle those cables. Yeah, the fact that this is proprietary and some people hate that. It's just, look at that. There just are no cables in here. There's no cable mess. Like wherever you have a cable, it just comes right out and goes. Like here, I'll probably, well, I can't use this anywhere else, but this is like power for a couple more drives that I can plug in up there. Okay, so let's get our Samsung drive ready to go. Excuse me for just a moment. I gotta figure this out because I haven't used one of these before. Now, can I just? It looks like that just gets mounted right up on there because there are the holes. Is that where you go? Is that what you do? Looks like it. But it looks upside down. Oh shit, now it's stuck. Ah! Help! Can I flip it over? If I put it on the top though, yeah, so it goes in like this. If I mount to the top, it's gonna be stuck right up next to that. Well, does it even fit? Let's find out. There we go. Yeah, it says 2.5-inch drive, which is what this is. It's 2.5 inches. That is a super tight fit. Also, it's backwards. Come on, Scott. Come on. Come on. We need to go like these. We need to be able to access that. What am I not figuring out? Okay, I'll set that down there, and then I gotta figure this thing out. Oh, come on. Okay. Ooh, oh, holy shit, this is awesome. This is so cool. Okay. These little guys don't mount on the bottom like that. They mount on the side. And you use these guys too. I think yeah, this goes right in here. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Okay, so this thing right here, you fold that over. You can see there's like even a little channel right there where when you fold it, it like,
So it doesn't bind.
yeah.
That's so.
Oh, I am impressed. You're gonna say something, JH?
No, it's cool. It like makes a little cartridge for it. A little popped out cartridge.
Yeah. Super cool. Okay. So we've got data on one side. So I just want to figure out how I'm gonna put that in there. So that. Oh no. See, that's a. Okay, so I could do it like that, and then I could just. Yep. Go there. Okay, so I want to mount it like that. That goes in there like that, and then I just put those in here like this, and then. Oh. So cool. So that like snaps in there. So it's got 3 points of contact. Here's one. Oh, come on. Here's one. 1, 2, and then 3. And I could take this thing out of here like this. See? And see, let me take the whole thing out so I can. Well, I need to install this back in here. So just like this has a little channel slider.
For like the size.
Yeah.
If you put a different, like a larger one, it'll fit a larger.
Yeah. So the ones that hard disk drive, that 80 gig that I had earlier. So yeah, just kind of pop it in that hole and then slide it over there. Now it's in the right spot. So now I have 4 points of contact. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could just sort of stretch this out because it's plastic. Stretch that out. That's plastic. And then, oh, so nice. Okay. Yep. There's my 2.5-inch, 2 terabyte SSD ready to go. I'm going to slide it in right here. Boom. Now, I take this, my SATA cable, and plug it in right there. Here, you heard it snap. And because I am super, whatever, some would say anal, I would say particular. I'm going to wrangle these cables. So just put this right here. There we go. Now I'm gonna leave this guy down in here because eventually I'm gonna get like, this was $105. This 2 terabyte, right? So per terabyte, this one was cheaper than the 1 terabyte. But eventually, Moore's law, not my law, but Moore's law it's gonna come down in price. So, yeah. So just make sure that the notch is going in the right direction, which it is. The notch is pointing up like that. So it's like that. So I need to key this to that. So that's my power. Heard the snap, and then I'm just going to tuck that in underneath. Okay. Let me apply thermal paste. I'm just checking my list over here. Reattach air cooler, did that. Install the M.2, did that. Install the SSD in the tray. Attach the cable, did that. Okay, next is the RAM, okay? Now, if you look over here, look at our beautiful, 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 clean. Everybody's doing their Vipe, so y'all know what it means to have a clean character, a clean install. So you got white and black and white and black. If you look up here, up at the top on this PCB on the motherboard, which is a printed circuit board, if we look up here, this is DIMM 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. And then, wait a minute. Yeah, DIMM 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, what I think the color coding means is that I need to put my first 4 in the white slots. Actually, JH, could you do me a favor? Like, I know you're working. Or you're probably
I'm actually not right now. I'm watching
okay.
this.
Okay, cool.
I'm chilling.
Can you do me a favor? Can you look up a Lenovo ThinkStation P520 like memory configuration? It'll probably just have it on the Lenovo website. I did a lot of research about the processor, but I did not ahead of time look into the configuration of the RAM. I mean, whatever. I can just stick in the RAM wherever and boot it up, and if it beeps at me, it's an error message. It's going to say, "Hey, I need to put him somewhere else."
Did you say ThinkStation?
ThinkStation, yeah, Lenovo ThinkStation.
And then what was the
P
model?
P as in peanut butter.
P?
520. P520.
520.
I'm gonna look too.
Intel Xenon.
Yeah.
Oh.
So here's
Okay.
the review of it. 3 years ago, right, when it came out in August 2020. Now, when this thing came out, it was, well, right now you can buy it for $1,100, brand new. I paid, 1/10 of that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go. Lenovo P500 memory RAM install YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah, the thing about the
This
about
is JBigTicket23 from
review
GreenPCGamers.com.
was that
In this video, we're going to show you
they
how
only
to
gave him
install
one stick of
memory
RAM,
into
the
a
poor
Lenovo
schmo.
ThinkStation P500 workstation.
Okay, so here's a guy who 4 years ago reviewed this thing as a for a gaming station. So the tech's a little old, but still good. I mean, you saw how clean that system is. I want to come down here to show more. I want to look at article, general info, memory, specs. Here we go.
So we're actually going to show you how to look up your processor on Intel, or on Intel's website, and we're going to show you how to determine what speed you should install if you are installing new memory. So again, we have the E5-1620 V3 proc. We're just going to search that on Google. The top search is
You got some crazy
Intel's
computers
website,
on here.
which is great. This is exactly where we want it to
Lenovo?
be. We're going to scroll
Yeah.
down to where it says memory specifications. All right, so this is exactly what we're looking for. It's going to tell us a bunch of stuff about this processor and what it
Holy
supports
shit,
as far
you
as
can fit
memory.
768 gigabytes in that
and what
system.
we are
This is the
looking for is
precursor to the
memory
520.
types.
This is a P500.
And this one supports a bunch
So I'm guessing it's going to be pretty much the same. I mean, I've been to the Intel
the
site
existing
and I
modules.
looked at the
You should
specs.
just try to match those. All right,
Yeah.
so let's get to that.
P500.
4 gig single rank 2133p modules. They're all matching. They're all Hynix. And
Oh fuck. Okay, you know what?
memory
It's a good thing I
cooling
set that
shroud.
alarm. I gotta go, friends. To be continued later.
Sounds good.
I gotta take my kid to an appointment. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah.
I will pick this up later.